Hi, my name is Bob Holloway. I'm the Guest Relations Manager at Milton Ruben Auto Mall. First of all, we want to wish everybody a happy holiday season. We know that there's going to be a lot of traveling going on in this time period, so before you take off on any kind of lengthy road trip, we'd like to go over, check your fluid levels before you take your trip. First thing you want to do is obviously check the engine oil, and you want to make sure your engine oil is at a proper level. Basically, the best way to check it is you want to have the engine shut off, you want to have the vehicle on level ground. This is where you check your oil dipstick. So basically what you want to do is just pull this out, get your little rag, and then wipe it off. You want to insert this back, let it sit for about 3 to 4 seconds, pull it back out, and then what we're looking at here is your oil marks. Okay, as you can see with this 2010 Camry that the oil is perfect. You have two marks here. You have a high mark here, and then you have a low mark here. As long as your oil is in between these two marks right here, you are good to go. So again, as long as your oil is in between these two lines, you're fine. Now, if it goes below this line, that only means that you're only going to be a little bit low, maybe by about a half a quart. Nothing too much to worry about immediately, but again, it's something you do need to get addressed. This high mark here, if it's over just a little bit, again, not that big of a deal, but if it's real high, then again, that's something you want to get addressed, okay? So we'll just wipe this off, and then we'll put this back in here, and that checks your oil. Now, one of the other things you obviously are going to want to be aware of is your other fluid levels. Okay, right here we have your coolant fluid level. This is your reservoir bottle. Okay, anytime you want to try to put any kind of coolant or antifreeze in here, this is where you want to go in at. You do not want to open this cap, especially when the engine's hot. If you do open this cap with the engine hot, you're going to have coolant coming out, which can be very, very dangerous, as you can read on the warning cap here. Again, do not remove this cap. You want to top it off through this bottle right here, okay? Obviously, you want to use genuine Toyota coolant. Now, what you look for, again, you want the engine off. You want it on a level ground. You have two marks. You have a high mark here, and then you have a low mark here. Now, keep in mind that this level fluctuates up and down while the engine is running. So again, as long as when you're checking it that it's in between the low mark and the high mark, you're okay. Again, if it gets real below the low mark here, if you see coolant in here, but it's a little bit below, again, you need to take it to the dealer or bring it to us, and we'll top it off for you. Power steering fluid. All right, power steering fluid, basically to check, again, you have your levels here. You can see your little lines right here with high and low. Now again, this fluid does not fluctuate up and down as much as the coolant does. But again, as long as you're within these two marks right here, you're good to go. Okay, last but not least, let's talk about your brake fluid. Now, brake fluid, again, this is where your brake fluid master cylinder is. Again, you have your high mark here, and then you have your low mark here. Now, keep in mind that as long as the level is in between the high and the low, you're good to go. Now, this is one of the fluids that does fluctuate depending on your brake pads, because as the brake pads start to thin out, the fluid level drops. So again, when you check your brake fluid level, if you see it down here about in the middle, then chances are your brake pads are getting low, which is a good way to indicate what your brakes are like. If it's down real low, then you definitely need to bring it to us and have it checked out.